Hi everybody, welcome to your very first training. I picked this one first because I have seen, as I've watched the video count on the different training sessions, the first training gets watched way more than the last training, almost twice as much. So a lot of people don't seem to make it all the way to the end. And so I wanted to pick the topic that was probably the most difficult for people to jump on with, or people that maybe are really anxious to grow your business and you think, oh, if I do Facebook Lives, I'll just have this miracle change in my business. And so I wanted to give you a really good topic to start off with. Of course, they're all good topics. Growing your email list is our last one, and having an email plan and program. And I love that topic. I am huge on email marketing. So, but this is one that I know is really working today. And I want to give you kind of a different version of it or vision of it and a lot of inspiration. So we're going to talk about Facebook Lives. Now, the first thing before we can even get started is that you have to have Facebook. So I'm going to start with a few basic things. First of all, the caveat that this is not technical training. I do have my phone here so that I can show you some actual buttons to push and things, and I could have done like a screen capture and pictures, but I really do believe that actually like pushing buttons and showing things is how I would teach you if you were right here next to me. And so that's what I want to do. I think sometimes the way I learned the best was that someone actually took the time to show me which buttons to push on Facebook Live and any little app that we use to play with. So, but before you can really jump into Facebook Lives, you do have to do a little bit of background work before you get started. Some of you like to do things perfectly before you jump in. And unfortunately, I don't think that this is one. I think you progress, you get better as you go. Trying to start it off just perfect might be a little tricky for you. So first of all, let's start with some really big basics. You have to have Facebook. The second thing is that you have to understand Facebook Lives are not super professional. They're not supposed to be. It's just supposed to be you live as you are. Either they're going to love you or they're going to hate you. It's okay. It's not supposed to be super professional. It's not meant to be like that. It's going to be glitchy. Sometimes people can see it, sometimes they can't. Sometimes the sound works, sometimes it doesn't. Facebook Live is kind of a beast in itself. It's a great tool, but it can also be frustrating. I was not able to do Facebook Lives in my studio until I got really good internet. I used to use a hotspot here and it wouldn't work. It was way too glitchy and it was in and out almost all the time. And my internet on my phone out here was not strong enough. It just didn't work. So I didn't do Facebook Lives at all. I started Facebook Lives in January because guess what? January 12th, I got new internet here in my studio and I actually had internet hardwired in, and now I'm able to do them, and I started them first thing in February. Now I've been doing them for a long time, over a year and a half with my team, but not with my customers, because I think that has, your team is, again, they might be a little bit less, expectations won't be as high. So anyway, you have to have good internet. It doesn't work if your internet is really bad. So if you live way out in the country, you might struggle with doing Facebook Lives. It's just something you have to accept. So just understand that it is meant to be you. It is just meant to be you. And so you don't have to hold it to such high standards. And when people are like, I can't hear, I'm like, sorry, it's your internet, or it's my internet. But it's, they just can't be perfect. So I want to set that groundwork as well. Now, the second thing is, where do you do your Facebook Lives? So there are 3 different things on Facebook. I'm going to just try to clarify this. There's your personal page. You do not do them there because that is your personal page. That is where it's your family, it's your life. Now, I do show things that go on in my business a little bit. I can share links sometimes, but you're not going to do your business Facebook Lives there. You also should have a Facebook group. And that is where you are more interactive. It's more like a community of your stampers, your friends, your downline, anybody that wants to see what you're doing in your business. And then the third one is your Facebook business page. This is your storefront on Facebook. This is a business, and they will even help you do marketing and advertising and set business hours, and they will help you do business events and all kinds of things. So you need to have all three. Okay, people always ask me that, and I'll keep answering it. You should have all three. Now the question is, where do you do the actual Facebook Live? And the answer is either one, your group or your page. My answer to you is, where do you have the most followers? If your business page has, 500 followers and your group has 200, then do it on your business page. If your group has twice as much, then do it there. I really like to do it on the business page. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes, because you are able to boost those posts, and that way more people can see them, and you'll get more interaction on them, and you'll get to meet some new people. You cannot do that in your group. Now, what's really cool that you can do is, as soon as your Facebook Live starts, you can share it in your group or have someone else share it in your group for you. I think that to sit there and wait to share your own while everybody's watching is something that's not necessary. You can just have someone else. They don't even have to be in the same room as you. It can be someone across the country. I have Michelle do that for me all the time. I have her share my Facebook Live in my group as soon as it starts. So people can share your live in different groups for you or in your group, so that people can watch around even in your group as well. Okay? So that is the main kind of some of the thought process behind it. You have to have a group and a page. And now the second technical part, or the second basic foundation, is how do I do a camera? What's my camera? And I can only speak from experience. There are lots of different cameras out there. There are really fancy and expensive ones that I see a lot of people fumble with, and their images aren't, again, you gotta play with it. There are ones that are like you could just use your computer with a software. A lot of my good friends use their computer, and they have a software program, but they still have to have something that is above their surface that they use. So I am going to just tell you what I do and try to make it as simple for you as possible. There are other mounts that are out there. Stampin' Up! Even did a video once on just a PVC mount that you can do. So I'm going to walk you over really quick to actually show you mine. So hang on, don't get sick as we walk together. So you might want to close your eyes real quick. And obviously, this is my studio. I have my buy one get one free going on right now. So the table I'm going to show you has my camera on it, but it has a bunch of stamps on it. But I left my camera set up because I don't take it down. It does not move. It stays here all the time. So when it's time for my Facebook Live, I just got to click it in and I'm ready to go. I don't have to. It takes 10 seconds. So here's my camera. It's a mount. The lighting here is really bad because the windows are behind it. Let's see if I can get it so you can see. Okay. Again, usually the surface is cleaned off, and I have like my grid paper or wood grain paper or something here, and I have my, I actually like to try to keep scissors, dimensionals, mini glue dots, something right at this table so I don't have to worry about forgetting them every time. But here's a camera, and it can, the face can come down, and then it also can point up. And this arm is strong but also flexible, so that, and all I do is when I'm talking, I have it looking at me, and then when I'm ready to stamp, I just pull it down, turn it over, and pull it down, and it's right over my work surface. So it's a very clean transition. I actually get comments from a lot of people to say, wow, how did you do that? It was so smooth. Most people are fumbling and bumbling and turning it backwards and sideways, and I'm like, it's real simple. That cost me like $14 on Amazon. if you go to Amazon and ask for Facebook Live phone mounts, that one will probably pop up or something similar. So that's as simple as it can be, or you can get real fancy with a fancy mount if you want to. I don't use those. I have seen them. Actually, we played with one, the Acron mount. One of my Deli members brought it for Facebook Live, and it took her 40 minutes to set it up, and then we had it tip over in the middle, and I was like, okay, this is a nightmare. I am not going to do this every time. And she did the whole thing too, and had been using it for a while, and so it still was it was very tricky. And so I think for some of you who have that and have mastered it and using it, and that's great. But for those of you who have not done Facebook Lives and you're looking for simple, and maybe to start off with something less expensive, and then you can work your way up to something more if this is not working for you. That was my intentions. I wasn't going to spend a bunch of money until I knew I was actually going to maintain doing them. And then once I did, I was like, then I'll invest in a bigger one. Well, I love mine, and I will probably never change it. It's super simple and easy, and I do get comments from my followers that they really enjoy how I transition, that it's super smooth and easy. So, okay, that is something that you will need. You have to think about, how can I? Now, I have a table that it's attached to all the time, and I actually just move my table. So I like to be in front of a window so there's some natural light coming in, or somewhere where there's decent light in your house. So what I do is I actually have that attached to the table, and I drag my table around so that it never comes off that table. It just attaches to the end. So you do have to think about that. What lighting are you going to do? So you can't do a Facebook Live in your basement in this dark corner, because your lighting won't be very good. It's better to have some natural lighting by a window, or it's better you want to make sure you have some lights around you. The OttLite or some photography lighting helps as well. But there's also a button on your Facebook Live that will give you natural lighting, and I'll show you that as well when I show you my camera. Now, what do you do on your Facebook Lives? This is a tough one. Actually, it's not tough. It's tough for me to give you an answer, because guess what? Everybody does something different, and it's okay. Some people show their face, and some people don't. Some people stamp for an hour and a half, and people love it, and some people don't. Some people keep it to 30 minutes. Some people sit and chit-chat and laugh, and we all know our Dina Rico, who does the lipstick, and I think she's nuts and crazy, and like, oh, Dina, but everyone loves her, and they love her. Like, they hoot and holler and adore her for her lipstick. Is that something that I would do? Probably not, but she might think I'm boring on mine. So everybody is different, and that's okay. I see women who do Facebook Lives that are wearing a baseball hat and no makeup, and then I see ones that are all done up and gorgeous and perfect and beautiful, and I see, you will see the whole gamut. So what you have to ask yourself is, where do you fit in, and where do you feel comfortable? What do you want to do that is comfortable? Now, so then you'll know what to do. And sometimes you might have to play with it a little bit to see where you are comfortable, see where you do shine, see where you do get comments, and what you're comfortable with. That's what it all boils down to. You're not ever going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some people won't like your manner, and some people will love it. But what you need to do is just be you. Something that you can keep up with every single week, and that you know shines your qualities that you do. So as an example, my projects are always very sweet and simple and easy to duplicate and easy to make. That's not going to attract a customer who loves techniques and really fancy folds and really tiny things and making these ornate, beautiful pages, and I'm not going to attract them. They're going to say, that woman, I cannot believe that she just sold $1 million in stamps because her stuff is boring and dumb. That's okay. They don't have to watch me, because I have people that do love that style and do love simplicity. So you may be one that shows beautiful, ornate projects, or you focus on all techniques, and you are going to attract people that I won't attract. So it's okay. We're not in competition with each other. I love watching other demonstrators' Facebook Lives and seeing how they do it and laughing at their mistakes and smiling at them and knowing that they're terrified. We are all terrified to get in front of a camera. It is very difficult to do that. And all I can tell you is that when people are watching you, they're not judging your hair, your makeup, what you're doing, what you're wearing, how big you are, how small you are. They're not judging that. We're there to watch your project. So, and if you are uncomfortable with showing your face, that's okay. Just show your hands. That's all. They're coming to watch your project. Now, understand that Facebook Lives are there for entertainment. You are there to entertain them. You are there to teach them a project and to be their entertainment for a little bit. Most likely, you will not get a lot of orders through a Facebook Live right when it happens. Now, this is the part I want to talk to you about. And another part I want to talk to you about is, what are the results? What are you looking for with a Facebook Live? Why would you do these? If you're doing it strictly because you want to get sales right away, I'm going to tell you right now, that probably isn't going to happen. Even some of the biggest online demonstrators that started doing Facebook Lives and have been doing them, it takes a lot of time to build people wanting to order from your Facebook Live. Understand, most people who watch Facebook Lives watch many of them. And a lot of them are demonstrators, and they're going to order from themselves. They all still matter. You need view counts, you need comments, you need people to share your videos. So you want to welcome all of those people, encourage them to be there. But understand that the results of getting sales comes in different manners. So I want to give you a few statistics or a few things with demonstrators that I know, training clients and downline members, and personal experience of what happens when you do Facebook Lives consistently. All of my online classes, since I have started doing Facebook Lives, have increased. Most of them have doubled in size. And so I might not get sales right after a Facebook Live, or I might get a couple, maybe a couple trickling in here and there. But what I do get is increased attendance at my classes. I've been getting huge increase in attendance in all my online events. And the biggest thing is, so I just did a class last night. And first of all, the class was double. I did the same class in January, and it was double last night than it was before. And all of them were talking about my Facebook Lives and the projects that I made. I have a table now in my back that is all my Facebook Live projects I've done for the last couple months, and I just keep adding, and then I'll rotate them. And they're all like, oh my gosh, Rhonda, when you made this one, I loved it. Here's my wish list. And the wish list will be $250 long. And so what a Facebook Live does, so for those of you who have a face-to-face business, it really helps increase your sales, really, at your events that you're doing. So I really encourage my customers I tell them to be on there every Wednesday. They come looking for me, and then they bring their wish list when they come to my events. My event sales have skyrocketed because of that. And almost every time I can tell, I see, because they come with these wish lists ready because they've watched some of my past Facebook Lives and have a list of things that they want. Now, the other thing is online ordering. I might not get an online order immediately after a Facebook Live, or I may, but not always. But when I see an order come through, almost always it's something that I have used on a Facebook Live. So it does increase your sales. It does. It will make a difference in your attendance at your classes, attendance to any online event you do. Maybe not immediately, but you will see that after consistent of them seeing your projects and falling in love with what you're making and creating a wish list, they will order those. Now, if you do want to engage sales from a Facebook Live, keep in mind that, again, a lot of people watching your Facebook Lives are probably already demonstrators, or they know they're going to come to your class, so they're going to order there. So a Facebook Live does not always immediately generate sales, but you can still try, what I usually recommend is to start a monthly host code, and then you can share that host code every week through that month. And then usually on a Facebook Live, you can give some sort of an ordering special. Now you're going to say, Rhonda, do I always have to do a special? Guys, if you want online sales, most, and not just Stampin' Up, but most any Facebook sale, the hair curlers, face makeup, anything that is being sold online has a sale. It's just the way that it is. It is just the nature of the beast. If you want to get online sales, you're probably going to have to do something to sweeten the pot for them. And if you're not, someone else probably is. So, and now you have to keep it affordable, and that's why you use a host code. The host code generates free product for you that you can give away. So it may be just for you to do a card kit in the mail and send it to them. Or it could be that you would send them a bolt of ribbon or a package of sequins or some new brads or something that you can send in the mail. Now you will have to pay your postage, so you're not going to get your full 25% income. You're going to have to give up maybe 5% of that in order to put towards the postage. But the actual gift you're giving away will be free if you use your host code. You want to be clear about your guidelines and your rules. When does the order have to go in by, and how much does the order have to be? You have to realize that you will have to pay at least $3 to $4 in the US, and in the outside it might even be more for your shipping. So you need that order. Remember, it's about 5% you want to put back into shipping. That order needs to be about $40 in order for you to be able to afford to give away that gift. So I usually set my threshold at $35 or $40, and then sometimes I'll have a second threshold, where if they spend over this much, then they get another bonus item. And again, you're going to use your host code, your host dollars, to be able to give those prizes away. When you see demonstrators that do card kits with free product inside, know that it's not because they're giving away the bank. They're just being smart and using their host code. And so that way they get their product for free, or their cardstock for free. They do have the time involved of cutting a card kit, and that can be very time consuming. You also have to take pictures of the projects and do a tutorial or a video to go along with that so they can actually make their card kit. Now, so that is just one option, but you do want to, you can change it up every month, or you can keep it the same. Now, how do you make Facebook Lives super effective? Let me give you a couple different tips on that. Number one is consistency. I know you've heard me say that a lot. You heard me say it in the welcoming session, and same thing with a Facebook Live. They need to, it's like an episode. It's kind of like an episode on TV. They need to know, like, I know Survivor. I love Survivor. It is the only show I watch. I don't watch any TV, but I do watch Survivor, and I know it comes on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. Well, we DVR it, so we watch it Wednesday nights, usually about 9 or 9:30. But it is like clockwork. I am there. I show up. I became a fan. I'm a follower now, and I look forward to it, and I'm in withdrawal when it's gone, but that is always there. You are the same concept, so understand that you are an episode. They will come to you based on when you are. So I believe wholeheartedly in having a set day and a set time that you come forth for your episode. Then even if someone can't be there live, they know to come back that day later to watch. They can look for your replay really easy because it's there on that same day. Now, what day do I recommend? First of all, I always recommend you have a day that works best for you, that you can be consistent on. A day when you know that you can show up every single time and be there and be present. So I do mine in the morning. Maybe I do them in the morning because I know I can always try to be there. I'm also more on top of my game. My brain's working a little bit better, and I have time mapped out to be able to do that. In the evening, too many things happen in my life and my family that I would not be able to be consistent doing it in the evening. I also like doing it in the morning because then your replay is going all day. So it gives all day for people to be able to catch your replay. If you do it in the evening, the replay is going through the night time when people from the other countries might be able to see it, but most of your customers will be sleeping. And by the time the next morning rolls around, it's pretty far down in people's news feeds. So I do prefer mornings or later afternoons, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock. But if you do it in the evening, that's not a bad thing. Just know that sometimes your replay might not get as much notice because of that. Now let me tell you how to fix that, okay? So there is one thing about Facebook Lives that I have learned that is very powerful more than any other thing else you can do, even posting a YouTube video, posting anything. And that is that it is when you boost them. Now, when you do Facebook, there will be a button. I'm sure you see it, and it's on your business page. It'll say boost. And now you can pick any dollar amount you want. You could boost it for even $5. You could boost it for $10 or $15. You can have any sort of budget you want. But I do believe in boosting your Facebook Lives. They get an extreme amount of viewage when you boost it. Now, what you can do when you boost as well is you can add a button. So when you go through the process and you boost, it's kind of small print, so you have to read it. You get to actually boost it, and I sometimes just pick $5 because what it does is it gives me a button on my video that will say shop now, and I can add a link to it right to your store. It can be join now, and you could link it right to your DBWS page. It can be sign up. I use the sign up button because my purpose for doing Facebook Lives is to grow my email list. That's why I do them. I don't do a host code. I don't ask for orders. I'm doing it to grow my email list because then I do that stuff in my emails. So you have to ask yourself, what's your purpose for your Facebook Live? Now, I can change my purpose. You can change your focus. But right now, I do it just to grow my email list. So when I boost it, I add the button, sign up. Since I've been doing that, I have grown my email list by over 1,000 people. And that's over just in a couple months. And number one, you have to have the Facebook Live that people want to watch, and then that sign up button. And those are all new people that have been joining my email list because of that button. So every Facebook Live I do, the two things that I do afterwards is number one, you go in and you edit your post. When you edit your post, you can actually add a title, you can change your thumbnail, you can add key tags and keywords so that people who are searching, you'll pop up. You can obviously add the tag word Stampin' Up! Or whatever product you're using, add your name, and then you can even add a title, which makes your Facebook Live look so much more professional. And you can pick your thumbnail. They give you usually 20 thumbnail, and they're not all good. Some all 20 are usually, but thumbnails are usually really bad. But sometimes you can pick one that's better than another one that actually might show the project a little bit. So you can choose your own thumbnail as well. That doesn't cost anything. That's just going in and editing your post. When I edit the post, the first thing you should do is just add your website. And Facebook will automatically make it a link so that when they see it, they can click right there and go right to your blog or right to your website. So this is all just in the editing process. When you have your Facebook Live and it's on your page and you've shared it, there's 3 little buttons in the right-hand corner. It's like 3 little dots. You click on that and you hit edit post, and that's it. And then that screen will pop up and you'll fill in the different pieces, and then you'll hit save. And then now your Facebook Live has a much more professional feel, and it has a link right to your website. Also, when you edit the post, you can add you can add item codes and item numbers and prices of all the product that you used right there in the post on Facebook Live. It's really cool. Another thing is when you boost that post and you add the button that will say shop now, sign up, join now, learn more. There's lots of different things that actually pops up during the replay. on the video. So boosting is really smart to do on your Facebook Lives. And that button is added even just for $5. So even your current people and your normal people are watching it, and it will bring in a few more. I usually boost my Facebook Lives for 1 week. So, and I have a budget. My budget's, I do $10 a week for my Facebook Lives, and so that way, and it's for 6 days. So it doesn't bring me in a huge amount of extra people, but what it does do is it gives me the button availability, and it does share it with new people. If you want to build an online business, you do have to have online tools that you're using, and online marketing and advertising is very, very important to grow that. Now, okay, so those are some 2 tips that I can tell you that will really grow your view count, it'll grow your following, it will grow every aspect of your Facebook Live. Consistency, you're an episode, same time, same place, every single week. Now, there's been weeks where I have been on vacation and I don't do one, but I communicate like, sorry, I'm not here, I'm gonna miss you. I mean, communication is huge. Or there's been times when I had to come like an hour later, but I posted and let them all know that. So let me pull up my Facebook Live so I can show you some of the buttons that you want to hit. So we're going to just go to our page. You want to pull up your business page, and that's what I've done on here. Okay, so when you start a Facebook Live, you're just going to, obviously you just hit publish, and you start, you know, like you're going to type something, but you don't type anything. Instead, you're going to hit your live video, just like that. Now you can add a description right away. So come make a cute and easy project, come learn some new techniques. You can type something that will pop up. Remember, you're going to go back in and change that. When you're done doing your Facebook Live, you're going to go back in and edit it like almost immediately so that you can add your website, so that you can change the thumbnail, so that you can add a title and add maybe the descriptions for your whatever. Okay, but here's what I want you to see. Now, this is an iPhone. If you do not have an iPhone, I don't know if this is exactly the setup, but this is what you can see. There's this little magic wand down here. So you want to hit your magic wand, okay? One irritating thing about a Facebook Live is everything is backwards when you're looking through the front of your camera. Well, that's simply a setting on your Facebook Live. We can fix that. You don't need a fancy program. You don't need a fancy mount for that. It's all right here. So, first of all, they do all these weird things now. You just want to hit this button there where the no button. We don't want any extra like hats on or goofy stuff. But what you want to go down here is at the very, very end. Let's see here. I'm going to do it so you guys can see it. At the very, very end, there is like a wrench. Can you see it? Like a wrench and a screw. You want to click on that. And it gives you these 3 little things right there. This is the one that gives you natural lighting. Now everything just brightened. So you want to do that. It really brightens up you and everything that you're doing. By the way, I know I look really stupid talking to you this way, but you know, you're just getting Rhonda, right? Like I'm trying to really like help you. Oh, look, my battery is low. Okay, so then this is the one where it flips your camera. So we just do this one like that, and now everything is the right way. Look, hello. Now, if you wanted to flip it the other direction, which I don't think I ever would, you can do that way, and everything is upside down. But you don't really do that one. But this is the one see, it's the very first one. That's the one you want to hit, and then all your lettering will be the right side up when you're looking through this side of your camera. If you're looking through the back side of your camera here, then you don't need that. But we don't. We want to look at ourselves and look at our projects and see what we're doing. So this is where I can put my camera in my case, and I can just go down and up. I don't have to hit any buttons. That's it. Down and up. And that's because I can hit that button. And then make sure you brighten yourself. Once you've done that, then you can go back to the beginning, and then you can actually, then you hit Start Live Video, which I'm not going to because that would be silly. Then you're ready to go. There you go. I'm going to cancel this because I don't want that to show up on my business page. So it's really easy. Those are all settings on your phone, and they're right there. So look, there's other fun things you can do on there, but those are just some of the basic ones. hope that this has inspired you. The last thing I want to tell you is, guys, just do it. You will get better. Your first ones might be rough, but that's okay. Not as many people will see you. I didn't boost my first ones when I was, not very good. And the first thing I did was I started with my team members. I started doing Facebook Lives with them every month, and and that's where I learned, like, oh, what am I doing? My lighting was horrible. Everything was backwards. I couldn't keep things in the camera. I mean, I was a hot mess. But they let me work through it. They were much more patient with me, and they helped me. And that's where I learned a lot of the tips that I got was from doing it with my team and then them slowly working with me. So it wasn't, so if you're still scared, start with them. Start with your, maybe just in your customer group, or it's a small, tight-knit group of customers. I know some of my friends who even started like a separate Facebook group with just them and a couple friends that are also demonstrators, and they practiced Facebook Lives together. So maybe you can do that. I see so many of you say, oh, I want to do them. I wish I could do them, but I'm so scared and nervous. And the truth is, we are all scared and nervous. We all were. I still do get, sometimes I shake on the camera, and I'll be like, listen, I don't know why I'm shaking. It's just natural. We're putting ourselves out there, and we do make mistakes, and we screw up, and I think that's why people love Facebook Live so much. So in ending and closing, I want to inspire you to do them. Don't compare yourself to me, to anybody out there. Some people do phenomenal Facebook Lives. I love Monica Gales when she does hers. She's so professional in her lighting. And then I've seen her do ones where it's terrible and her hair is crazy and her internet goes in and out and she had to quit. So, even good people can have ones that are not the best. But I can tell you, all of them when they started, me included, they were really rough, and we've learned and improved. I've Googled, I've watched videos, I have asked friends, I have done research to find out how to improve them a little bit, and I still have lots of room to improve. And there are people out there who do way better ones too, but you can eventually, I know them when they started, they weren't there to begin with. A huge inspiration is my downline member, Michelle Litwiller. When she started, she didn't have an online business. She just started them because, I swear, it was over a year. She's been doing them for a year now, almost a year, and she's never missed a Wednesday, I don't think. And her sales now are just through the roof. She's been hitting her $10,000 quarter, and 2 years ago she sold $10,000 in an entire year. And again, right away, she didn't get this huge increase in sales. It's been slow and steady, slow and steady. And what she realizes is that her live events, attendance is doubling. People are coming and spending way more. They're buying what they're seeing on her Facebook Lives. It is a huge inspiration to see the consistency and then what's going to happen. So if you start now and you every week for the next year, you do a Facebook Live, I promise you, and anything I have, that your business will grow. Now, if you're in and out and you do a lot here and you don't do them for a month, I'm not promising you anything. Results won't happen. But if you're consistent and you do it, and your current live events will increase, your current sales will increase, and you will probably get some online orders too. Not every time, but you will get them in between there. But it's just going to generally and whole strengthen every aspect of your business. Good luck. Get started. You can do it. Even if you're untechnical, Facebook Live is awesome because Facebook really does all the work for you. They post it. They do all that. I tried to give you as many tips today as I could to help you make it look a little bit more professional. But even if you don't, just doing them consistently is really important. Remember to be you. Don't watch everybody else's. There are hundreds of them that are going on now all the time. And you're just in this little stamping community. Like someone like my sister doesn't see anybody's but mine. So that means my sister's friends don't see anybody's but mine. I get customers all the time that say, I didn't even know Facebook Live was a thing. Okay, so don't compare yourself to everybody else is doing them. In our little community, we're going to see a lot. But in your customers' community, in your downlines community, or like your family or your neighbors or your friends, they don't see all the other ones. I have a couple of the soccer moms that are on my Facebook, and see people share the Facebook Live videos, and I always encourage sharing. I encourage comments. You have to make sure you're responding to all the comments, and you can even do prize patrols to bribe them to share, and that works. By the way, I've tested where I've asked them to share it and given a prize patrol, and where I haven't, and it's over half, less than half of the people shared it until I actually asked them to. So make sure you are asking them to share, and attaching a small prize to it if you want to. But even then I've tested it out where I've just asked them to share and I haven't given a prize, and I've got way more shares, but not as many as when I offer a prize. When I offer a prize for the shares, I will get double, sometimes triple the shares than I would if I didn't ask, and especially if I didn't give a prize attached to it. So make sure you're asking for the shares and you're asking for the comments. So what I was going to say was I was at a soccer game, and people will tag me in it when they're sharing it. And then so it does pop up in my personal feed. And I'll have, soccer moms that have been like, oh my gosh, I've been saw your face all week and it's so exciting. And you have to tell me about what you're doing. And so it has generated interest and, some new people coming to classes in my community because of my Facebook Lives. So make sure that you realize that you don't have to compete with everybody else doing them. You need to just work on your little part of the world, and love everyone watching, and know that any numbers will help. So have your husband watch, have your kids watch, have them leave positive comments to help get you going as well. The last thing I want to say, because we're definitely hitting time up, I just caught my notes down here, was there are two different visions as well for Facebook Lives. There's one where everybody stops and says hi to everyone who pops on. And then there's the version where you don't do that, where you don't stop with every person that pops on and says hi. This, I believe, I have learned is a personal preference. So it's not a right or a wrong necessarily. I actually did a little bit of research because for me, I'll be honest with you, it drives me nuts. I can't stand when people are doing a Facebook Live and then they stop every couple minutes to say hi to somebody. I literally will just shut it right down. I can't stand it. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me, because I'm like, just let's go. Like, I want to watch you. I love you and I want to see what you're doing. But when you stop every 5 minutes to say hi to somebody on the replay, it is for me a personal preference that I won't watch those Facebook Lives. Now, someone else loves that. I did the research and I found out that some very successful Facebook Livers do this, and they do it because it's almost like a sense of when you say hi to somebody, it's like the little flutter in their stomach. Oh, she recognized me, she saw me, she knows I'm here. That's so exciting. And so it makes people want to watch more to see if you're going to do a shout out to them or not. So there are people who like when you do shout outs. They wait. They're excited about hearing if you're going to say hi to them. And it makes them realize that you are personal, that it is a personal interaction. So do I do that? Nope, I don't, because I think about my viewers. I think about the viewership in whole versus just the couple that are going to be excited when I do shout out their names and say hi. I also will have a hard time keeping my concentration when I look at everybody who pops on. Sometimes I'll see someone pop on. Even the other day, my husband popped on. It totally made me lose my train of thought. I'm like, oh my God, my husband's here. What was I talking about? What was I doing? And that's very annoying for people who are watching you. They don't care about your husband and that he just popped on. But so that's just a personal preference. And so again, I think that's a choice you need to make. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Because guess what? There's very successful Facebook Livers, if that's a word, that do that. And so I can't tell you that it's going to damage you. Some people will like it, some people won't. Some people will sit there and wait for you to say hi to them, and some people will log right off because they find it annoying. So it goes both ways. I don't read comments. I go back and answer all the comments later. It's very important that you go back and answer all your comments. Two things that it does. It establishes relationship. It establishes communication back and forth. People want you to be their friend, and when you respond to them, that they feel like you are really engaging with them. So that's the first thing. The second thing it does is it actually makes your comment numbers go higher. And I know this sounds like it's not about oh, I have high numbers. It's about the quantity of what's going to show up in people's news feeds. The more views, the more comments, the more shares, the more Facebook sees that it's a valuable thing and they will share it more. So you do need numbers for it to for Facebook to take it and show it in other places. So in every comment you leave too goes into the comment numbers. So I may have 500 comments on one of my videos, but really only 250 were probably from my customers. The other 250 were me responding to my customers. That takes a lot of time, guys. It's not easy. After a Facebook Live, generally speaking, I can spend hours answering comments and talking to people and then answering questions. I get a lot of Facebook messages afterwards. I do get people asking questions, and I have to answer them because Facebook Lives are about building relationship. It's about being present. It's about being you and being real and answering their questions and encouraging them to come back again next Wednesday or next Friday or whenever you do them. You're just going to do it when it's best for you. Okay, so that's the last thing I wanted to tell you about is you decide what you want to do. What's your personal preference? Do you watch a Facebook Live and love it when people shout out people's names? Or do you hate it? I get very because you leave people out and you're not saying hi to everybody and it's, it just chops up and makes it so much longer. But some people love that. So you have to decide, what do you love? What do you want your Facebook to be? And then embrace it and go with it. So I think that whatever is you is going to be successful. You'll let the real you shine out. All right, have fun. I hope you're inspired and motivated and do it. I can't wait to see. I will see you pop up in my news feeds too, and I can't wait to check all of you out. Good luck.